Hello everybody and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video we will be talking about the Des Moines Register poll that was released just 16 minutes ago. The famous Des Moines Register poll with partnership with NBC News and Selzer. A plus, as you can see, she is the top pollster in the United States. It is an extremely difficult rating to have A plus rating, and Ann Selzer has been able to accomplish that. I mean, her polls that she conducts with her corporation or whatever are just spot on, and that is why these polls are so important. This Des Moines Register poll is awaited. It is so important to see where things stand 2 days before the primary. This is released, and here is where it shows things in the Iowa caucuses. Donald Trump at 48%, below 50%. No, Nikki Haley in second, as I have been saying for a while now, that she needs this second place bad. Ron DeSantis in a disappointing third at just 16%, despite spending tens of millions in dollars and literally only campaigning in this state of Iowa. Vivek Ramaswamy at 8%. That's plus 3 percentage points. That's a bit higher than he's been polling in the state of Iowa. I personally think that he'll win about 10 or even more percent in Iowa. Asa Hutchinson remains at 1%. And Ryan Binkley comes in at 1%. Not a bad performance by Ryan Binkley. He is hoping to be recognized in mainstream polls like this, but Binkley, Hutchinson, both at 1%. Not really serious contenders. None of them are serious contenders besides Donald Trump at this point. So here it is. Here is the final Des Moines Register poll 2 days before the caucus. So famous in the polling industry. This poll is awaited. It shows surprises heading into the caucuses. If you remember, in 2020, I believe it had Pete Buttigieg winning the caucuses, which was pretty out of the ordinary, especially for a big pollster like the Des Moines Register. It was a big surprise seeing Pete Buttigieg in first over Bernie Sanders here in Iowa. And what do you know? Pete Buttigieg did end up winning that caucus, or maybe he didn't. We still don't know. It was super close between him and Bernie, and the caucus system failed or whatever the system they were using. So this isn't too much of a surprise, except for the fact that I was not expecting to really see Haley in second place. Again, as I said, she needs this second place because you've got Iowa, and just a week and a day later, you head into New Hampshire. So she's already got all this momentum, right? And she isn't particularly expected to receive second, or wasn't before this poll. But if you've already got momentum, especially in a state like New Hampshire, and then you overperform a little bit and win second and really assume this main Trump challenger role, then she's got major momentum heading into New Hampshire, where it's actually pretty close, where a CNN poll just has her down by 7 points. We're expecting a pretty close race there. So I really wasn't expecting Nikki Haley to be in second, to be honest. I was thinking that Ron DeSantis, after all of this money, all of this effort that he has consistently been putting in Iowa, he doesn't leave there. He's not even governing the state that he's the governor of. He is just in Iowa completely. He received the governor's endorsement. It's honestly sad for him. The governor literally endorsed him, and he is still in third place behind Nikki Haley, who isn't even spending major amounts in Iowa, and she certainly hasn't received the endorsement of the governor. You can compare that gubernatorial endorsement to New Hampshire, where Sununu endorsed Haley, and she rose dramatically. It was right about here, probably, because we're looking at December. It's probably right about when she was at 18, and she has been able to rise from 18 to 29. So endorsements do help if you're a normal good candidate, but meanwhile, Ron DeSantis is just having such a hard time with this campaign. It's really sad to see. I mean, not really, but just sad for him. Um, and he is 4 points behind Haley at 16%. That is a 3% decrease. Meanwhile, Haley is seeing a 4% increase. Donald Trump, he's still got it locked in the back. Even though he's falling 3%, whatever. It really doesn't matter all that much because you still have to consider that a open Republican caucus like this, with no incumbent, has never been this close. I mean, the last time we were seeing numbers similar to this, what does he lead by? He leads by 28 points in this poll, in this Des Moines Register final poll, up by 28. The last time we have seen anything relatively close to that in a final Des Moines Register poll was in 2024 years ago, and the 28-point margin in this poll is still higher. The final Iowa caucus Des Moines Register poll in 2000 had George W. Bush, up by 23. This has him up by 28. So, and besides, Bush did end up winning by only 11, but there is so much more consistency in polling now than there was. I mean, polls are pretty consistent here. Plus 28, plus 34, plus 32, 41, 34. The only one that's somewhat an outlier is the plus 31. And I've never even heard of that pollster anyway. But what do you know? Still, regardless, George W. Bush was leading by 23, and he ended up still winning the caucuses by a solid amount. So the point is, we're not going to see any upset. Any sort of upset. What is this logo? Look at that. It's Principal That Counts font. Allen Keys. Nice. But it's, this proves we're not going to see any sort of upset, right, in Iowa. I mean, it won't even get close at all. It really is over in Iowa. I mean, I think DeSantis was really, really hoping for a kind of like a Rick Santorum situation in 2012 where you narrow it up in the last final days of the days leading up to the caucuses, but that has not been the case. I mean, that time has come and gone, and it won't happen in these final 2 days, like Rick Santorum was able to do in the couple weeks leading up to the caucuses. But it didn't happen, and we are approaching so soon to the caucus that we will that you can brace for similar results, similar to this final Des Moines Register poll, 48, 2016, 8, 1, and 1. When it comes to Vivek Ramaswamy, I do think that he slightly outperforms here. Vivek Ramaswamy is correct. He likes to say stuff that will, make his campaign look better. Ooh, they changed the DeSantis photo in Wikipedia and Trump. Wow, cool. But what was I saying? He does like to say things that would seem favorable to his campaign. But when he says that his supporters, that his caucus goers aren't being polled, he definitely has a point there. I mean, his caucus goers are those who have typically not, attended a caucus, participated in a caucus. A lot of them are younger caucus goers. A lot of them are, from what I've seen, are 17 years old, and they can caucus if they turn 18 by the general election. So he has a very interesting base, at least in Iowa, and he likely is going to outperform expectations, I think. Not much by 8. I mean, you do see him gaining. I think max he gets is 11, 12, but I'm thinking like 10% right now. As for Ryan Binkley and Asa Hutchinson, it does appear like it's over. I'm not positive, but I don't think we could see a situation where Ryan Binkley does win this caucus. I'm not completely taking it out of the realm of possibility, but right now I think that the chances are, unfortunately, that Ryan Binkley does not win the caucuses. Regardless if you do win in Iowa, take this as a formal, I mean, that was a joke there, but obviously, but take this as a formal endorsement from me. Please go and caucus for Ryan Binkley. He's by far the best Republican in the race, my personal favorite, and look into him. At least consider caucusing for him on Monday. But again, Trump just has such a dominating um, lead in all of these polls. I mean, this is on the closer side, so we can't expect really this race to get anywhere close. But what is important is the second slash third place for Haley slash DeSantis. It does matter who gets second place, and this is showing a good sign for Haley, up by 4 over DeSantis. That is not bad because, again, going into New Hampshire, that little support that DeSantis does have in New Hampshire, some of it could switch over to Haley, but it would also help securing that Christie vote coming in second, again, that main Trump challenger. But it would be nice for Haley to claim second place in DeSantis territory. I mean, Iowa was supposed to be DeSantis territory, DeSantis country, if not Trump, then it would be DeSantis. That's what we said in the beginning, and DeSantis was, it was a Trump versus DeSantis contest in Iowa. I mean, if he didn't win, then he would have won a strong second place. However, somehow, despite running his entire campaign in Iowa, this final Des Moines Register poll has Haley ahead of DeSantis. So, by Iowa, where Haley is already far, far ahead of DeSantis, it will help. However, not great for Haley looking further into this poll. Is the fact that I don't have it up, but Steve Kornacki, posted all of the further results and stuff. But apparently, Haley's voters' enthusiasm for her, they're very enthusiastic about her. They ask that about every candidate's supporters. Trump led with 88% of his supporters being extremely enthusiastic about caucusing for him. And then I don't remember the exact results for the rest of them. But DeSantis was actually in second, despite being in third place overall, and Haley was in third, kind of by a wide margin. Additionally, her favorable slash unfavorable ratings decreased, dramatically. I mean, her favorable ratings have plummeted since the last poll. I guess this is due to attack ads, but it does surprise me when you look further into this poll that her favorables are going down. Her enthusiasm for among her supporters is going down, and it does surprise me that she has still managed to be in second place. But that enthusiasm does matter because I'm sure you guys have heard about the major winter storm that is crushing Iowa right now, and it's going to feel like at least negative 38 degrees on caucus night. So you've got to have enthusiastic supporters. So that is why I'm very skeptical. This weather could affect this whole thing. It's why I'm very skeptical. Did I say that right? I hope so. That Haley does finish second because her voters are clearly, according to this poll, not very enthusiastic about her. Her supporters, at least to me, seem like independents who are just answering Haley in a poll to show, to go against Trump, because at this time she's kind of seen with Christie out as the most anti-Trump candidate in the race. And I don't know if they will necessarily, when the time comes, actually go out and care enough to caucus for her. These Democrats answering in the Republican poll, these independents answering in this Republican poll. So that would worry me if I was the Haley campaign, and I would not be surprised at all if DeSantis finishes second. I think that we could see DeSantis finish second because at least his supporters have been with him since the very beginning. I mean, he has gone down and down and down. These 16% are the last remaining of his supporters that are still with him. But at least they will actually, care enough to go out in caucus form? Probably. Or we could see Trump crack like 60% in this primary, and then it's over, basically, and Haley gets crushed in New Hampshire, and then it's over for everyone. But yeah. So, final Des Moines Register poll, 48-2016-811. Thank you all for watching this video. I really hope you all enjoyed. I will probably post a final. I don't even know if it deserves a video, but I might make a final Iowa caucus prediction tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.